1522, the Magellan Expedition circumnavigates the globe. 1783, the Montgolfier brothers lift off in a hot air balloon. 1953, Edmund Hillary conquers Everest. 1978, a future sim race commentator and Medina Mendez. All memorable first-time accomplishments. Add to that list this afternoon's festivities as the Absolute Beginners Indy League makes its series debut from Michigan International Speedway. From the Wolverine State, hello and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel and the countdown to green to the Michigan 250. Way up in the press box to bring you our bird's eye view is yours truly, Bill Soupson, joined by Never Say Die Dawson Brock. In the director's chair, the doctor of pit topology himself, Amjad Yaman, armed with cameras located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. As cyberspace flows into your place, over these 15 streamy award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the 250 simulated miles of Dallara DW12 Indy car racing that will immediately follow. Now everybody unwrap your cigars, because in a few minutes a new series will be born and GSRC is proud to spank it on its bottom, swaddle it in commentary and camera angles, and put it in the bassinet for everybody to view. So please don't tap on your TV screens and monitors. And the proud parents? Well, none other than the Absolute Beginners League. You know them from Formula Eagle, where GSRC has brought you many a season of exciting Skippy action. The new Absolute Beginners Indy League, its weapon of choice is the Dallara DW12, and the schedule has an equal dosage of oval and road course venues. And Dawson, what better place to kick things off than Michigan International Speedway?
Absolutely, Bill. Opened in 1968, Michigan International Speedway is located on 1,400 acres in the scenic Irish Hills area of southeastern Michigan. The 2-mile D-shaped oval has 18 degrees of banking, modest by NASCAR standards, but very steep for these Indy cars. With Detroit nearby, manufacturers feel a little extra pressure to show success on race day. The track itself is known for having plenty of room to allow 3, 4, and even maybe 5 wide racing. Who knows? Today we will see the DW12 in action. With Michigan's rough track surface, it should be interesting to see how tires play into driver strategies. Let's get a better look at what it's like to drive an Indy car around Michigan and hop on board the GSRC Dallara DW12.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. My name is Brian Yazik, and today I'll be taking you for a spin around the Michigan International Speedway. A big, wide open, 2-mile oval that is sure to put on a great show for drivers and fans alike. Now for your qualifying time, you're going to run a run around the bottom of the track, but not the very, very bottom. The way that the track flattens out down here is not very conducive to a good lap time. So you're actually going to want to run about a seam above that, or exactly what will happen to me is what will happen to you. You'll push out to that fence. Going into turn 3, once again, try to find that bottom seam before the white line right here and just let the car roll all the way through the corner, really not having to lift at any point in this lap. Now, later on in the run, what you might see is guys start to come up the track a little bit as the tires and the fuel both burn off. So you're going to see them probably run the second groove and then right kind of back down into the bottom groove here, swinging it right back off of the corner, keeping the car right near the wall. But you actually might see guys down by the white line as well trying to defend the inside. Same for turns 3 and 4. Find that second groove. You're going to have to play with the throttle just a little bit, but it's going to give you a great shot of speed off of the corner, and it's going to let you draft up on whoever is in front of you to try to set up the pass to get into a winning situation. My name is Brian Yazik, and this was a spin around the Michigan International Speedway.
And that's how you do the D, that is Michigan. Now, before we run down the race details and talk about the specifics of the event that's coming up, qualifying's underway. They got 3 laps and 10 minutes to do it. So why don't we jump over there real quickly and see who's doing well in qualifying. And fans of the Lionheart IndyCar Series, no surprise to see Andrew Kinsella have a catch sitting at the top of the chart with a 131.7 right now, 131.76. Just a few tenths faster than his teammate, Christian Valerian Steele, also a former member from Lionheart. Now, can we take a quick look at Henry Bennett? Bennett jumps to the top of the charts. Dawson, what's interesting here is this series is a mix of oval and road. My gut tells me that we probably have more experience from the twisty course drivers than we do the ovals out there.
Yeah, and you're going to have to be able to manage your road side and your oval side equally. You can't just smash the ovals and mess up on the road. It's a balance of both, and I think that's the beauty of what the IndyCar provides. You get different drivers racing around each other. It should be a lot of fun to watch over the next however many weeks.
Well, if iRating means anything, let's take a look at Austin Espity. Is he out there right now? No, he's sitting in the pits. He sits third on our list for iRatings with a 5,200. Christian still has 5,200. Zach Novak, almost 7,000.
Novak, I know him from the WSU League. He used to way back when. Yeah, he's a pro driver, in fact. So he definitely has that iRating way up there.
Well, there you go. The WSU, the We Stand United League, was a mostly oval stock car league, and good to see Zach here with us. A big mix, mainly a mix. A lot of guys coming over from the Absolute Beginner Series as we look at James King. They run the Skippy, the Formula Eagle. And then we have a handful of drivers coming from the Lionheart Series, which is a fixed setup league for the IndyCar. A lot of drivers taking their time to get out there. They have plenty of time with 10 minutes of qualifying. Now, usually in a GSRC in the countdown to green, we like to show you the driver standings. But with this being the very first race and everybody's dreams of a championship still very much lucid, obviously we have nothing to show you right now. So why don't we skip down, Dawson, and run quickly through the race details.
Right, so this is round 1 of 12 here in Season 1. This is the first installment of this series. It should be really fun to watch how this series evolves over time. Now, today we're going to go 250 miles. That's 125 laps. We have an open setup, which is really fun in the IndyCar as a driver because you have all these things you can switch on the fly. You're going to have weight jackers, and drivers are going to have to adapt to how this track rubbers up to when you're in that aero push and all things. So drivers are going to be very busy behind the wheel. Now we're looking at about 36 laps on a fuel stint. That's going to be make about 3 stops if this thing goes green all the way. We're really not expecting that. Now the incident cap at 20, I'm not expecting many people to get there. Your car will probably wreck before that point. And no quick repairs. So the car you come with is the car you're going to have to stick with. In this Indy car, it's really easy to damage something up quick in a really just a funny way. So these cars, you're going to have to be really careful over this 125 lap race.
Now, drivers can have 2 setups, right? They can have a qualifying setup, and then they might have a setup that is a little more comfortable for the 250 miles, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You're going to have the less fuel in the car and probably a different wing setting and everything, more meant for just running alone.
Yeah, so what we see in qualifying may not be an indication of what we're going to see over the long haul during the race. What I worry about when we have an open setup in an Indy car, I like to think of it as like a woman wearing high heel shoes or hiking boots. The high heel shoes are pretty, but they're kind of dangerous. They're hard to walk in, hard to dance in. So I worry that some of these guys with inexperience will have a car that's set up on the razor's edge rather than putting her in hiking boots where she can go the distance. We'll see how that plays out. The one series that we do cover a lot of, at least my experience in the Dallara, is the Lionheart series, where of course that's a fixed setup. Everybody races the same. Setup's important in this one. You can really change how your car handles. We're looking here at Ollie Koika. How's Ollie doing right now? A little farther down, sitting in 29th. Up a few spots at 24th. Dawson, if I was a fast driver, what I would do, I would find myself some open road. I don't care if I'm 15th or 25th. Find myself some open road and put in some miles for the first 200, I'd say, and then start to go race in the last 50.
Absolutely. I mean, you're going to see right when this gets started, it's seems like uncontrolled chaos, but it's going to be controlled chaos. These guys are going to be everywhere, and we talk about the push and the aerodynamics of these things. They rely on downforce so much that when they get up behind somebody, you lose that downforce, and these cars will be sliding up the track, and they're going to be everywhere. But these Indy cars, you know, you're going to see a lot of chaos, and I would agree with you. Stick in the back, put in the laps, because we're going to see plenty of cautions. We're going to see plenty of cars get torn up by the end of the race. So if you can stay for that last stint, that last 36 laps, you'll have a good shot of probably getting at least a top 20, maybe a top 15 finish.
Probably 90% of my racing has been in the very comfortable MX-5, which heavy fuel, light fuel doesn't change that much. Yeah, maybe go a little faster with light fuel, but I don't have to worry about it getting too loose on me. Maybe not the case here with these Delaras, a little more sensitive to the fuel load and how heavy the car is, right?
Yeah, I think as the car becomes lighter, you'll feel it. The cars will get a little bit faster, but the rear end, where all that fuel is, it's going to start to get looser and looser and looser, and that's where, again, we come back to that aero push. You get in that aero, and it doesn't sit right. Your car feeling a lot lighter. These Indy cars, plenty of carbon fiber on them. These things extremely light. You're going to get into that aero, and it's going to get loose, and you'll see guys snap around. And I trust that these guys, looking at all these names, these high I ratings, they know what they're doing. So we'll see how much these drivers are able to change your weight jackers and all of that to adapt to how the car changes over the fuel run.
And it looks like all the drivers have got their qualifying runs in. So for something special, since this is the inaugural race of this series, let's go ahead and tie into the public address system and go trackside. Race fans, for the most famous words in sim racing, please welcome your Grand Marshal and Chairman of So Long, the Society of Obliging Loved Ones Neglected by GSRC, Gene Vivian.
Drivers, grid your race cars. Go, drivers.
Mama Jean Racing comes over from the Absolute Beginner League. She's the car owner for Mama Jean Racing. And of course, it's Gene Vivian coming over. She's the multi-time car owner champion over there. That team is manned by Bastian Hausman and Tuan Tran. Nice of her to come over and get this series underway. With that said, the drivers will take the grid, and we'll give you that grid right now. They'll have a pace lap around. Let's put it up right now, and we'll look at these. Sure enough, it is Henry Bennett. We talked about him having a good I rating. There it is. Richard Tam outside of him in row 1. Mikhail Rugenbrink and Johan Vanderbilt, the fan belt, in row 2. Row 3, it was the man who won Rookie of the Year in the Lionheart Series. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Matt Kingsbury. I misread that one. There's Andrew Kinsella. Have a catch. He's the Rookie of the Year from the Lionheart Series. Flanks him in row 3. Michelle Constantini in the 7th position. 8th position, Christian Valerian Steele, Austin Espety, and A.J. Burden round out row 5. Dawson?
Sarah Dove going to start out row 6 and 11th. Then Andres Eek, he will start 12th. Ray Kingsbury going to sit 13th. George Nauyokes, I think that's how we're going to say it. He'll start 14th. Zach Novak 15th. Niall McBride 16th. Edward Lack 17th. Timu Toika going to sit 18th. James King 19th. And Stephen Larkamp going to round out 20th.
In the blackjack position, Cameron Barry, Ollie Cueca, Jan Schwitter in the 23rd position, Fabian Youngbluth behind him. 25th and 26th, Sam Winton and Michael Hofflandaisen. Christian Kabanka in the 27th spot. 28th goes to Eric Mickey. I'll just round out the rest of these fields. Ralph Houston, 29th. 30th, Thomas Kick, Isaiah Dupree, and Brian, it's not easy being Greenlee. in the 32nd position. 32 names on the entry list. I believe all 32 put in qualifying times. I think all 32 are going to grid up for this inaugural round 1 of 12, season 1 of the Absolute Beginner Indy League. You can see the shadows out there. Let's take a look at our weather here today, see what these guys are doing with. And Dawson, you mentioned it's a little colder than you thought.
Well, actually, no, it looks like that.
Yeah.
That sun really beating down on the track. 106 degrees Fahrenheit track temp. 81 though. It's pretty comfortable for anybody up in the Midwest. Winds coming out of the west out of 6. That actually, them winds make up a big deal to these Indy cars. I mean, nothing much that you can prepare for, but you'll see the turns are going to affect a little bit different for the drivers.
So it's a comfortable day for all the two-dimensional fans that always fill up the stands here on iRacing. And all their attention now turns to Henry Bennett as he leads the field of 32 around for the first lap. Bennett out there in the Maximum Attack car, the white, blue, and black machine, flanked by Richard Tam. We'll get to know these drivers more and more as the series progresses. Right now, let's just cross our fingers and hope for a race that has a majority of green flags in it. Are you ready to get the inaugural season underway? The pace car pulls in. You know what to do. Gather up the chicken steak, cover behind the cows, because the horses are out of the barn. And it is Henry Bennett who leads the stampede of 31 other cars into the first corner. Richard Tam, Miguel Rukenblink round out your top 3. Andrew Havaketch Kinsella in 4th. Matt Kingsbury in 5th. Gotta like what you're seeing so far as they get sorted out nicely. A few side-by-side battles. You see AJ Burton down there in that blue car trying to get underneath. Oh, I heard some problems somewhere. Do we have an incident? I think Cameron Barry. Yep, Cameron Barry, we have a caution. Oh my, and he's collected by Isaiah Dupree. Now it all started. See if we can see how we pick this up here. See who got into Barry.
Let's watch Stephen Larkamp.
There you can see he got pushed out on the outside, and then Dupree catches him, but then farther down in front of this, I believe Thomas Kick is involved in it as well. We'll see what... Oh, yeah, sure enough. What happens is Ralph Just comes down into Kick, as Just has to take avoiding action. But we're losing 4 to 5 drivers right away.
Yep, and like we mentioned before, no quick repairs. So them drivers, unless they get that and they stick around for them repairs, their days are done.
Some of those looked pretty serious. Cameron Barry, Ralph Just, Thomas Kick, and Isaiah Dupree, the 4 drivers I see 1 lap down. Brian Greenlee, back in 28th spot, was able to avoid all of that as he picks up 4 positions from this vulturing from attrition. Up front, your leaders, Henry Bennett, Richard Tam, Miguel Rukenbrink, and Andrew Kinsella. Let's check on the pace car. We won't go to a break yet as we just got started. Are the pace car going around one more time, or the lights are off? The lights are off, so I guess we're going to go green this time.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to do the traditional single-file IndyCar restarts, so maybe a little quicker cautions than what you're used to on the oval side.
Well, I can tell you, I I stand and applaud that decision, as nothing brings out a faster yellow than a double file Indy restart. So we talked about your front five. Let's see what's going on here back a little farther back. Michele Constantini back in 6th position. The fan belt, Johan van der Belt in 7th. Out there in a beautiful Sprite machine. That looks pretty, Johan. Christian Valerian Steele back in 8th. AJ Burden in the Marvel Studio machine in 9th. And Austin Espity doing a little self-promotion, racing in the Espity Special. Espity Premium Lager, it says on that car. Well, they worked their way around the 4th corner. iRacing pace car about to pull in. They'll be working lap number 5 as they cross the start-finish line. Let's hope they got that one out of their system, and now we're getting some green flag racing. The power goes to Henry Bennett. He gets a nice jump. And we're back to green. Top 4 break away. Matt Kingsbury and Michele Constantini in a little bit of a battle. Here comes Constantini in a battle for 5th. Going to try to make the other side work. Up front, though, look at this. They are 2 by 2. We have a new leader up front. It's Richard Tam. He gets the move. Bennett stays on the top side, leads the door open underneath. Andrew Have-A-Catch Kinsella says, thank you very much. Maybe I'll try it down there. Then he tops back into 3rd. Once again, those top 4 drivers begin to distance themselves. They've already got almost a 2nd lead over Matt Kingsbury and Michele Constantini.
Ooh,
more problems.
Break.
He was racing in 4th position at the time. He puts the right sides up into the wall. We stay green, but Dawson, that car can't be feeling good now.
Oh, that is going to hurt him. He's going to have to bring it into the pits probably and get that repaired, as he does. Ow. Look at that on the replay. Getting up onto 2 wheels stuck up into that wall. That's that aero push that we were talking about, folks. You get right behind them, and their car's running up. There's no air for that car to grip, and it just slides up into the track and into the wall.
Eric Mickey has had an issue. His car is stopped on the track. Can he get it going? Back in 27th position, and now he's in pit lane. He's brought it down to pit lane. So, the fickle fate of attrition pointing its finger at more drivers. New leader up front. Andrew Kinsella. Well, I spoke too soon. Henry Bennett, with a run on the top side, gets that back. More banging in the back. Mikael Hofladezen puts it in the wall once and twice. Maybe we can get that on a replay, and maybe a nice car to look at it would be from Christian Tabanka, who had it happen right in front of him. That's Hofladezen. One bang, whoa, and he makes the move down below, and there he goes. Back live again. Top 3 drivers out in front. There's a pass for the lead. I think we're seeing more of just a dance, Dawson, than a actual battling going on between Bennett and Kinsella and Tam right now.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you watch the skip barbers at some road courses with that long straightaway, they'll just switch back and forth for a couple laps. And Bennett and Kinsella doing the same thing up in front right now.
Kingsbury in 4th and Constantini in 5th doing the same little 2-step. There you see we look back a little bit farther. Now that's Ray Kingsbury. That's the brother of Matt. Not sure who Mom loves more. Chasing AJ Burden. Kingsbury, we're talking about Ray Kingsbury working on AJ Burden. Behind them, in 9th, you can see him just coming into your screen there. That's Austin Espity. Kabanka with a problem. Did it just happen? No caution. He puts it in the outside, comes across the track, and noses it onto the inside wall. This happens right in front of Fabian Youngblood. And that one's gonna attrition again. The McDonald's car. That one's not going to be working well. Look at that great shot as they come at you. Working lap number 12. Because that accident was off the racing line, iRacing is going to let us stay green.
Boy, these Indy cars, they're getting up to about 230 miles an hour, and then through the turns, you'll see them drop down to maybe 220. These cars are carrying so much speed around here. This is just nuts.
Talk about speed. Try as they might, Kinsella and Bennett, they tried to dance away from the rest of the field. That's not going to happen because now it is a train that goes all the way back to 8th position with Ray Kingsbury. I hear more issues. Looking here, James King has had an issue. He has an off, puts it on the grass, but he be able to save it. He brings it back out onto the grass. And then he does a little agricultural racing. We'll watch him here. See him, he gets on the grass and he gets back out and he comes back. And one thing that's nice is the way the gardeners take the lawnmower there and they kind of, those lines kind of pointed him which way to go. It was able to follow the, and there's James King now. Things go from bad to worse. Once he brought the car back out, it must not have been feeling well. He loops it around. And that'll bring out the yellow because he brings it back out into the racing line. Dawson, that might be fixable.
Yeah, I mean, he did nothing much more than the damage that he had before, so he might, maybe a minute or two at the most, but he might be able to get that car back out there.
Right on board with Rugenbrink. He'll have a good view of this one. Which way do you go, guys? Gonna go tie-ho! All right, we are on lap 16. We're not going to take a break yet because we want to wait to see if what happens here, if anybody decides to come down and take a stop. The first car to actually come in was Rugenbrink. That was about 8 laps ago. What do you think, Dawson? 16 laps in? I bet you somebody bites.
Yeah, maybe if you're farther in the back. We'll see. Kinsella's going to have that first choice, and if he goes, I suspect that everybody will go.
Pace car stays out. Kinsella says, I'm coming in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my goodness. I hope they brought enough beer because it's a pit party. Somebody's going to stay out. Sure enough. Looks like Oli Koika stays out. And you can hear the Michigan Parrots have landed on top of the press box here. Get off of there, you parrots. Oli Koika stays out, and so does Michelle Rugenbrink. We talked about Rugenbrink making that stop.
Yeah, they're going to hope to get their laps back. Koika down 4 and Rugenbrink down 2, so they'll get that wave around and get another extra lap.
And with that said, first into the pit was Andrew Kinsella. First out of the pit is Kinsella. Bennett, Tam, Steele, and Constantini. Are the lights still on the pace car here? Are they going around one more time? Why don't we take this opportunity to take a short break? We'll be back before they go green. You're watching the Global Sim Racing Channel. back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the debut season, the debut event of the Absolute Beginner Indy League race from Michigan. Dawson, we just had pit stops. I guess we had a big loser.
Yeah, Matt Kingsbury going to lose 5 positions on pit road. He had an 8, almost 9-second pit stop compared to everybody else running about a 6 or 7 seconds. So losing 5 spots, that's going to be a big loss for him.
Losing no positions was our leader, Andrew Kinsella. He was first in and he is first out, and now he is in control of the field as he'll be working lap number 19 as he crosses the start-finish line. They go green for the 3rd time. 2 cautions so far. Richard Tam in 3rd position, protecting that inside line. Christian Steele on the top side in 4th. Constantini, Ray Kingsbury, the top 6. Drivers who are out or are having trouble: Isaiah Dupree, Thomas Kick, Ralph Youst, Cameron Berry, Eric Mickey, Brian It's Not Easy Being Greenlee, Christian Kabanka, Mikkel Hoflandaisen. We have 21 cars still on the lead lap. Fabian Youngblood. Right on board with Richard Tam right now. Richard's got to be thinking, let's just put in some miles here. 125 laps. We've only got 18 underway, 19 now. Let's drop farther back here. This is a nice battle. Let's go all the way back to 19th position. That's Sarah Dove. Sarah working on Sam Winton. I think Sarah going to make the move. Nope, she decides to back out. Sarah thinking better of it. But she's not done because this group is coming up. Johan Vandervelde in 17th position.
Ooh. Now Winton having looks like a bad connection.
Sarah giving Winton a wide berth. Stefan, I can't see ya. Here he comes, Stefan with the momentum on the top side. Oh, that's Larkamp on the top side. Larkamp with a great run. I apologize. He gets around Dove, and now he gets around Winton. Winton keeps it high. Dove trying to get down below. Dawson, we talked about the tires, and my gut tells me that maybe the speeds won't go down as the tires go away, but maybe being able to go down low on that inside line might get tougher as the tires wear.
Yeah, you know, we look, that was about 16 laps in, so they had about 12 laps on tires, just roughly, and they decided every single one of them to bring it in for that tires. So obviously there's a huge factor that these drivers are seeing, and what I would assume it is when you get behind in that aero push, the cars were pushing so bad on them old tires that it was worth the maneuverability of the new tires to come in and take that stop.
Our directors put us in a pinata full of bees here. This is 15th position, 16th now with Jan Schwitter. These guys are just scrambling. It all starts up in 11th position with Niall McBride. Edward Lack, and now ducking to the inside in that kind of clownfish-colored car is Zach Novak. This is, oh, Mikkel Rugenbrink.
Oh no, that Kolka's car stuck. He's still sitting there. Ooh. Tough hit for Kolka and Rugenbrink. Both of these cars laps down, so they were fighting amongst themselves, it looks like, here on the replay.
Well, on my clipboard, those are the 2 guys that didn't come in the last time. They stayed out, so they're tired. Boy. Mama Jean, if you're watching, remember, it's simulated. That's not really happening. My 95-year-old mother-in-law watching at home. It's okay. Ouch, that hurts even in simulation. So we lose 2 more. And everybody in the GSRC family, including all those family members that are members of So Long, the Society for Obliging, what is it, Loved Ones? I gotta remember what it stands for. So Society for Obliging Loved Ones Forgotten by, I don't know, GSRC, whatever it is. We all applaud the decision by the Absolute Beginner League to Dawson have no fast repairs for this one. Nothing worse than an oval race where the perpetrators of bad deeds keep coming back out. Now we do have some people coming in. Looks like our pit stop Sam Wynn, Ray Kingsbury coming in. His brother coming in as well. Yeah, Matt. Niall McBride. Zach Novak. He's the guy I want to keep an eye on. If I ratings mean anything, Zach Novak with an I rating of, a frustrating number of 69.95. Sounds like they just didn't want to make it 7,000 because it'd be too impressive. Just say.
I mean, that sounds like something that you would buy when it's on a good deal. Just get it right now, $69.95.
When I was a boy, there was a guy named Earl Shive. I'll paint your car for $69.95. But anyway, Novak back there lurking. I rating is not the end-all, tell-all, end-all for how fast a driver is, but Dawson, kind of hard to fake a I rating of 6,900.
Yeah, that's, oh boy, I raced mine's around 2,000, so it's nowhere near that. Them guys are crazy. They spend, if you look at them Peak Antifreeze Series guys, they're spending their entire weeks working on stuff, and that it's unbelievable what them guys do.
My dad used to say the road to a sim racing championship is a hard road to trod. T-R-O-D. You need talent, that's the T. You need resilience, that's the R. If things go bad, you can't give up. You need opportunity, that's the O. You have to have a real world structure that gives you the opportunity to practice. And then you need dedication, that's the D. When you have that opportunity, you have to be able to dedicate it to iRacing. T-R-O-D. You have all those things, you're on your way to a championship. Thanks, Dad. Our leader, Andrew Kinsella, out in front. Well, Dawson, now I feel we're going to get a green flag run in here. I think these boys have got it all figured out. Let's see if we can get a whole stint in, maybe get some green flag pit stops.
Boy, that would, I think that's the goal. We want to see some green flag pit stops. Really interesting, then it changes to the when are you taking it and tires and all of that. I'd love to see these guys bring it down to pit road while the green flag is out.
Well, the car that has led the most laps pulls in, and that's, of course, the pace car. Andrew Have-a-Catch Kinsella leads the field, working lap number 28. Who's chasing him? Well, it's Henry Bennett. And then his teammate, Christian Valerian Steele. Richard Tam, we've seen him up front for a while. A.J. Burden in 5th. Burden making a move underneath Tam right now. Picks up that position. Michelle Constantini thinks maybe I'll do that as well. Nope. Nice 5-car battle behind Burden. Tam coming back at him. Constantini watching. Also in the mix, Austin Espity. As he goes underneath, he picks up a spot. Sitting back, watching the 4 cars in front do all they're doing. George Nauyuk. Nauyuk's an 8. Racing in the number 95 machine. But it's not done, because look right behind that, there is still more coming. Edward Lack. Andres Eek back there as well. They start to get single file all the way back. Probably the last one. The Pennsylvania student Stephen Larkin back in 13th spot. Toyka going low. working on Andres Eek. Maybe trying to put the toothpaste in the tube. He had visions of making it 3 wide. That's Timo Toika. Stefan Larkamp back watching the whole thing. We talked about a little cross-pollination from other series. Stefan Larkamp coming over from the Apex Online Racing League, where he spends a lot of time in an open-wheel car in the Formula Renault. Good to see Stefan with us here today. That's Toika. He gets around. Toika drops back to 13th. Up front, there's a battle for the lead. And we got a new leader. It is our pole sitter. Henry Bennett decides he wants that back. Bennett gets in front of Kinsella.
AJ Burton just creeping into this picture now. Now we have about a 4-car breakaway here at the front.
"21 drivers still on the lead lap. 21 drivers still with a legitimate chance to win this thing. And the interval from first to 21st, just under 6 seconds. Dawson, on a track like this, it's really hard to pull away, isn't it? I mean, you can use up your stuff trying to get away from everybody, and you're really not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's no, how you get out of a corner here. This 2-mile oval, you're flat out the entire way through with this Indy car. So there's no, wow, he's getting off the corner better, into the corner better. It's literally just the line you take and how much draft you have. And that draft pulls, get more guys in. You can look, Mikel Constantini and Richard Tam, they're starting to get in this picture. I mean, they're all right there catching these leaders. The more that the leaders battle, I think the more opportunities you get for the guys behind running single file to catch them.
So here's what you got as we ride on board with Constantini in 6th. He is right in the middle of a 13-car train. Well, you can look at that beautiful open Michigan blue sky pushing down on the racetrack. Now, let's leave this front train for a minute, as exciting as it is. Let's go back to 14th, because here's the second string of drivers. And the one guy I want you to watch out for, I'm telling you, it looks like he's racing in a clownfish car, if you know what a clownfish is. And that is Zach Novak. And he's the guy that I think might be a bit of a sleeper. Could he be sandbagging right now? The problem is, yes, he's out of the hunt up front, but he's racing with, how can I put this politely, drivers maybe not of the same talent level as the guys up front.
He has a little thing on his helmet. It's a black stripe. That's what he's racing with.
Now you can see behind him, Ray Kingsbury must be a teammate. We don't have those quite done yet, but he's in another similarly painted car, the black and red machine of Ray. Ray is underneath Niall McBride. So these guys race back here. There is goes all the way back to about 19th position. Then the last 2 drivers, about 20th, the fan belt, Johan van der Velde. Again, I think he's quite happy in 20th. Again, he's found himself some open track where he doesn't have to worry about anything. Last car on the lead lap. Well, he's had an eventful day. Sam Winton. He's got that car back out there. We saw him spin it. 21 cars still on the lead lap.
Toika in the wall. Steven Larkamp down to the inside. No caution. Cars are off the racing line. They're not. Oh.
They spin off.
They're going to have to take it.
Larkamp had nowhere to go. You see him in the blue car behind. They're both right up on the wall. When Toika gets into it, he loses all of his momentum, and they both spin off. Bang! All right, Dawson, let's go bod on Larkamp. Nothing you can do.
Things happen so quickly in these Indy cars. We were just talking about Larkamp. They're right in the back. They should be chilling out, but Toika just getting into the wall from that arrow push and nowhere for him to go. You can't avoid that at these speeds.
Well, they're bad news. is good news for drivers like Sam Winton and Johan Vandervelde as they pick up 2 more spots. They move up to 18th and 19th, respectively. Johan stealing the page out of the Soups On playbook there. Just sit in the back and pass them while they're broken in the pits. Let's go up front. Now, our timing and scoring may be a little bit off. I'm showing Henry Bennett in second, but I believe he is our leader as some drivers have taken a tow. That'll fix itself. And now Kinsella goes underneath him. Oh, nope, I'm sorry. Bennett goes underneath him. Here we go. I was a little bit behind. Now Bennett takes over the lead. Kinsella in second. Steele, Burden, Constantini. Here's a pass for 7th. Can we go back look at this one? The red car is Edward Black. The blue car on the top side, Richard Tam. They go side by side. Dawson, I'm getting the feeling that as the tires wear, the top side's the place to be. The momentum off the corner, they get the run. It's harder and harder to make a pass.
You know, I would agree with you as long as not everybody is running there. I think as these tires go out, you're just going to want to be wherever the car in front of you is not. I think that air is going to be something very, very scary for these guys. They're going to want to try to avoid that dirty air as much as they can.
Well, now we can talk strategy a little bit. Remember we talked about Zach Novak? Well, he came in the last time. He's on a 17-lap stint. Novak, Ray Kingsbury, Sarah Dove, Matt Kingsbury, all these guys, Niall McBride, they're all on a much shorter pit stint than the guys up front. How far have these guys gone? Kinsella, Henry Bennett, those guys up there, 26 laps. If you were taking notes in the countdown to the green, you saw the graphic. Dawson told you. They're telling me 36 laps is as far as they can go. So the plot is about to thicken here if these guys can keep it green as they work in lap 44. Look for pit stops to happen from the leader somewhere around lap, well, about 54.
Boy, I was just watching Jan Schwitter. He had his car very loose right now. I saw him wiggling off of the corners, and you do not want to do that in this Indy car. There's no play around. These things are either straight or they're sideways. Boy, he's trying to battle. Just got to keep a hold of that car, maybe play with the weight jackets to tighten that car up a little bit.
Yeah, he's struggling. He loses a spot to George Nalyaux. Schwitter, of course, on the same strategy as the leader. He'll be coming in. The top 11, all on that strategy where they'll need to come in soon. Now, my experience is everything is nice and quiet. They're happy to race in line, but when it gets close to pit window time, that's when drivers will start to fight their way up. They'd like to be able, if you can be first into pit lane, that's where you'd like to be. Bennett, Kinsella, Steele right now, 1, 2, 3. Riding on board with Austin Aspity in 5th. Again, trying to get down there. Almost, he's going to make a pass. He does. He's going to get it done. Aspity around Constantini. But watch the momentum from Constantini. Here he comes back on the top side. Constantini back up into 4th. Let's drop back to 6th. This is Tram underneath A.J. Burden. Andres Eek behind them. Eek with a big run, but nowhere to go.
Sam Winston going to bring it into the pits. Looks like he had a little bit of damage. I think that's just going to be cars not running right.
Yeah, he's had a busy day. He's happy to be where he is. He's just putting in the miles right now. Trying to just stay out there as he's got to figure there's going to be more attrition ahead. The leaders come across. Nobody bites. Working lap number 49. I'm going to try to do a little math here. 36 and 36 is 72. Can they get there from one stop from here if they come in? I think they can. Well, it'll be close.
That's another interesting thing to put. These cars, these Indy cars, they have fuel maps. So if you're just short, you'll be able to flip it down. You're going to be a lot slower, especially on these ovals. I'm not sure if that'll really be an option for how much slower you're going to go, but you might be able to save a little bit. I know they're definitely saving under pace laps.
And certainly behind when they're in the tow as well. That's one of the things that an open setup league allows you to do. If you're in a fixed setup lead, you can turn that little knob all you want. It doesn't make any difference. Leaders all coming around again. So what's going on with Zach Novak? He's in 12th. He's all by himself. Have I misread the situation? Am I painting a story that's not really going to it's going to run in the rain? I don't think so. I think Zach Novak has a legitimate chance to win this. And he's doing just what I thought he should do. He's got 0.7 of a second back to Niall McBride. He's got a second and a half from young Schwitter. If something were to happen in front of him, he'll have plenty of time to figure out where he's going without having to worry about getting run over. All of that and an I rating of 69.95.
You know, he's far enough back from that front pack to where he's running in almost clean air right now, so his car very comfortable. You know, he's not having to deal with aero push or anything like that right now. I think more as he catches these guys who looks like in front of him are racing, he's gonna catch him eventually, so he's sitting in a really nice spot.
And 9 laps less out on the track on this stint, so I expect him to lead for a few laps at least, as he'll inherit unless he decides to come in with the leaders. And our leader right now, Henry Bennett, Kinsella, Steele, Esposito. 18 drivers on the lead lap. Looks to me like we have only 19 drivers out there. I think James King, the only driver actually racing, not on the lead lap. James in 19th. Just make sure he is, yes, he is a couple laps down. Sam Winton, after he took it in for his pit stop, he never brought it out. Okay, the leader has come in. He gets no friends. One friend, George Nalyux, comes in. And Lack comes in as well. So there's 3 out of that top 11 that bite. Now, Dawson, if this was NASCAR, I would say they'd want a dancing partner. They want to all come out together. I guess that's probably the same rule here. 2 more drivers coming in on this stop. A.J. Burden and Richard Tam.
Yeah, I think if you pit and you're alone, I think it is going to actually make a difference. You know, you're going to have the guys with a little bit extra draft and a little extra tow. They might run a couple extra quicker laps. We'll have to see how these guys who pit here right away, how they fare compared to guys like Kinsella and Steele.
Right now, Bennett working his way out of 4. Let's stay on Bennett for a minute. He's in that battle with George Nalyux. Remember, those guys came in together, I believe. Now, they're going to come out, look at the drivers down on the apron. They blow by Burden, and they blow by Tam. So in 14th position, George Nalyux and Henry Bennett.
I think if you're Nalyux or Bennett, the one thing you need to be scared of is if a caution would come out right now. You would have to stay out and take that pit, so you'd be off sequence a little bit from the guys like Esposito and Steele.
Eek, Schwitter, and McBride come in. Kinsella and, well, Dove has made a stop. That's interesting because she could go for a while. Kinsella comes in as well. Now it'll be interesting to see how Kinsella comes out in relationship to Bennett. Bennett in a little two-car dance on the back half of the track. Gets in front of Nalyux.
Steele, Speedy, and Constantini all coming into the pits. Novak the only one to stay out.
Looking for Kinsella. Kinsella's brought the car back out onto the track. Looks like he's going to be out in front of those guys by almost a second as he hurries to get the car up to speed. They begin to run him down. Let's look at Nalyux. They start to close on Kinsella. They're pretty much in the same position they were when they come in. But who's our leader? It's Zach Novak. Zach with a 1.1 second lead. But enjoy it while it lasts, because it won't be long till he has to come in as well, as Zach is on a 34-lap stint. Novak, the Kingsbury brothers, Matt and Ray behind them in second and third. The Vanderbilt in fourth. Johan Vanderbilt. All those guys should be coming in soon. In fact, if you could, we're looking at Bennett right now. He'll probably inherit the lead. Where does he sit? Is he ahead of those guys? Was he able to run down Kinsella? Ah, Kinsella's still ahead of him. Look at that. Nalyux has got around two. So there's your three of that main branch of guys that are on the normal pit strategy. Nalyux, Kinsella, and Bennett. Also in that mix, Constantini. Those four guys. Constantini with about a second lead over Burden. Let's go to Burden right now. As you can look at this, look how fast A.J. Burden is as he goes around Zach Novak. Novak out there on old tires, I guess. That blue car underneath, Richard Tam. Now remember, Novak's still the leader. Those are guys getting their laps back.
Boy, and I don't know if this is helping Novak or hurting him. I think maybe the fact that he's getting a little bit of help with this, the aero, he's going to be running a little bit quicker laps. But then again, he's on them older tires, so he might be losing time here. I think he was sitting around, did we say 7 seconds behind the leaders before?
Yeah.
So we'll have to compare that to when he pits now. If he's really gained or lost, I think he's going to be right around that 7 second gap again.
Well, that's a pay me now, pay me later type thing. How slow he is now, he's going to be that many laps fresher tires when he does come back out. So in the end, he'll be faster. It's all a matter of, can he get to the end from one stop from here? And I believe a 64. I believe everybody can probably get to here from one more stop, assuming we stay green all the way. Meanwhile, let's look at the battle for fifth. This is really, I think, the guys who are going to be leading when everything's said is done. Bennett gets around Kinsella. Novak finally comes in. So, Ray Kingsbury, you are the new leader. And did your brother come in? Yeah, yep. Matt came in. So, Ray, you're staying out there. Vanderbilt misses his stall. That's going to cost him. Although, honestly, the way he's doing, where he was not really on there, his job is just to try to stay on the lead lap. It's probably not the worst thing that can happen to him. And there's a lot of things worse. Ray Kingsbury got a raw egg under the gas pedal, as he's very, very light with the very feather touch. Stays out a little longer. Matt Kingsbury. Look at this now. Matt gets around Zach Novak, the leader of that second group of cars. Here comes Brother Ray. Going to surrender the lead. So he'll give that back to George Nalyux, Kinsella, Constantini, and Bennett, those four cars. Let's stay on Ray, though, for a minute and see how he fares in relationship to Novak. Novak, and actually in relationship to Ray's brother, Matt. Out of turn 4, Ray's starting to roll.
I think Ray's going to be a little bit behind.
There goes Novak and brother Matt. Sarah Dove also in that group, I think, although she was first to pit out of that group. She also gets a ground. She's in 14th. Ray comes out in 15th. So with that cycle all through, we have 18 cars on the lead lap. Dawson, let's run through the field. Now, let's take them 18. Let's divide that by 3. We'll take them 3 at a time. I'll take the first 3. Our leader, George Nalyux. I'll have to do this quick because Andrew Kinsella, as I say that, he jumps to the lead. So basically, it's Andrew Kinsella and George Nalyux up there in front. Right now, third position. Well, let's give it to Henry Bennett. All right, I've done my 3. You get the next 3, Dawson.
All right, well, I'll take the next 2 here. We have Michelle Constantini, and it looks like AJ Burton trying to make a move on him, and he will take the, well, just give him 4.5 for each of them. Richard Tam just going to sit behind them. Ooh, we have a yellow.
Niles McBride. In it, also involved in it is the blue car. That is Christian Valerian Steele. And it looks like, from the angle that our director had, it looked like netcode as they got, we had it from above. We're going to look at it. We'll go above. That's Steele in the blue car. Oh, I'm sorry. That car is pink. That's my rods and cones. Here we go. Oh, I don't know if it's netcode, director. Look like from there. Look, I might have got into him. Our director saw it, though. I had never to argue with Amjad Jaman. So 2 more bite the dust.
Yeah, and the net code in the Indy car series, I remember just from running it way back when, that used to be a really big problem. These guys, they like to get within inches of each other, and that net code just kind of comes with it. So, tough break there.
Before we go to break, let's stay here for a minute and see if there's any takers. I'm almost thinking that if you're at the back, there's no really pain to come in. I would think if you're somebody like Johan Vandevelde, you might as well come in and top it off if you think. Let's see if anybody bites. Oh my goodness, everybody bites. What do I know?
Ooh.
All right,
Vandevelde going to stay out.
Let's see if anybody doesn't bite. Vandevelde says, okay, Soup, tell me to come in. I'm going to do just the opposite. I'm going to stay out and move up some positions. That's a good idea. He was just in. Vandevelde was just in 6 laps ago, so why not?
Novak, Kingsbury, all going to stay out and be in the front now. So Novak will have a chance to lead this race and see if he can set the pace and stay in front of the guys who just pit. We'll have to watch. That'll be interesting to see.
His tires are only 6 laps older than the rest of these guys, and really 5. You figure one of those was a green, couple of yellow laps here. Well, what we'll do right now on the Global Sim Racing channel, we'll take another break. Don't go far. We'll be back before we go green.
They say it's always darkest before the dawn. And in the world of motorsports, those words ring especially true. As is tradition, Daytona greets us as we emerge from our winter hibernation. But this year, we awaken 30 years in the past. This time we celebrate a bygone era as drivers take to the unrefined beasts that are the Audi Quattro and Nissan GTP. A new season is about to dawn. The darkness about to fade. The Major Series and Late Apex Apparel proudly bring you the 2018 Classic Daytona 2.4, an endurance race from the ages, for the ages. Coming to you live, iRacing Live, on February 4th, 2018.
You're watching the Global Sim Racing channel. I am Soup Zahn. This teenage heartthrob next to me is Never Say Die Dawson Brock. And we are bringing you the debut race of the Absolute Beginners Indy League from Michigan International Speedway. The plot thickens as the drivers work lap number 72. We've had the leaders come into pit. We have 5 cars that are out on a different pit strategy, led by the guy we've been watching, the sleeper, Zach Novak. Matt and Ray Kingsbury in that mix as well. The fan build, Johan van der Velde, and Sarah Dove. It's time to go racing! And it is Zach Novak leading them down. Well, Dawson, we talked about it while we were off camera. Now we'll see what Novak has. And right away, he says, I have no need to fight, right, as he surrenders it to Matt Kingsbury.
Teammates, so you would assume that they're on about the same setup, same car, so I guess kind of one and the same here. Novak going to try and take it back now from Matt.
Little dancing going on as they pick up a few car lanes. Now the 4 cars that are out there, Novak, the 2 Kingsburys, and Van der Velde, have been racing for 9 laps since they last came in. The one car that's a little bit different is Sarah Dove. She's racing at 4th right now. She's been out there for 16 laps, longer than anybody else. All the other guys, the guys we've been watching the whole time. Nowyak, Bennett, Constantini, Kinsella, Burdens, all those guys, they've been out for 4 laps. We believe everybody needs to go make one more stop. Sarah might be close for hers. She's a little bit longer, but I think she's probably okay one stop from here. The 2 drivers begin to pull away, Novak and Matt Kingsbury.
Well, in a way, yeah, they have Kingsbury Dove. They're kind of the little bit of a buffer right now to the guys behind them. So.
Now in the mix in 17th, that's James King. He's a lap down. There are 16 cars on the lead lap. James King, well, I didn't really express that well enough. He's not just 1 lap down, he's 3 laps down. I believe Niles McBride and Christian Steele has called it a day, so King is the only one racing, not on the lead lap in 17th.
We're looking at that buffer right now, that little wall that I was talking about. Now Yuck's in the middle. We have Jan Schwitter looking to make it maybe 4 wide.
I kind of wonder now if these guys back here, that's Van der Velde, who is the cork in the bottle, and Sarah Dove as well. I wonder if Schwitter, oh my goodness, now Yuck's getting really loose. I thought he was going to get into it. He almost got into it with Constantini. He saves it. Dawson, I almost start to wonder if these guys back here like Schwitter, Constantini, Burden, if they're starting to say, you know what? We got to get up there. Novak's going to run away with this thing.
Well, eventually you got to start thinking, we can't race each other. We need to race to get up to them, guys. So stay single file, time out your swaps, and maybe work to get around. But right now, Dove and Van der Velde look to be the 2 that are just holding these guys up just enough.
Constantini makes a great move.
Whoa.
Oh my, that was Schwitter also. AJ Burden, you're really close. We got to stay on here. That's Constantini on the low side. Up on top, that's Sarah Dove. There is just hard to believe there's not enough racetrack in Michigan, but there's not enough racetrack in Michigan. Is he going to go through the middle? That's AJ Burton. He's going to get underneath Dove. Dove Sarate's a nice job of keeping that car up top. Look at the run from Burton. But it ends. Now a run underneath. That's Nauyux. Schwitter down low on the top side of Schwitter. This is some intense battling going on. Poor Henry Bennett. He was out in front the whole time. Bennett and Kinsella buried back in 9th and 11th, respectively.
I wonder if they saw what was happening there and decided to just back up because, boy, that was hairy.
Dove beginning to fall now. She's dropped back to 10th. Kinsella trying to get underneath her. There's more coming. Osmond Espity back there. All these guys still with a legitimate chance. I mean, Richard Tam, he was up front racing for, I believe he's led a couple laps. He's back in 15th now. Fabian Youngbluth, the last driver on the lead lap.
Burton now able to get around Vandenbell. Now he's going to have to go and chase down one of the Kingsberries. It's going to be Ray.
Looking at Burton. All this going on behind the two drivers that are out there dancing. Matt Kingsbury right now, Zach Novak. It really depends when you look at them during the lap because they are passing on the back straight, on the front straight. Now Novak's out in front, and he'll hold the line. Now watch right on here. Here comes Kingsbury. No problem. And he lets Novak lets him up, so Kingsbury gets a good run down into 1 and 2. And then the choreography calls for Kingsbury to hold the top line and for Novak to slingshot by. And they pick up 3 or 4 car lengths each lap.
Yep, they're running about 1/10 to 2/10 faster than them guys behind.
I thought that Novak got into the wall. No, I think up in front, I think Novak actually got the wall coming out of 4. Yeah, I think we'll want to look at this one. Listen and see if you can hear him coming out of 4. They're going into 3 right now. Does the car push? Let's listen. Maybe. Might have been more bark than bite. Doesn't seem to be slowing him down on the track. Maybe took his breath away, though, Dawson.
Boy, oh, man.
They have about... Go ahead.
Yeah, they are just booking it right now. They have about a 3-second lead now. 3.5 to Constantini, Burton, and Nauyux.
If you're old enough to remember Chip and Dale, and I'm not talking about the male dance troupe, I'm talking about the 2 chipmunks. They were cartoon characters. And their whole skit was, after you, no after you, no after you. Kind of some Chip and Dale racing going on right now. Very polite between Kingsbury and Novak as they continue to pull away. Now, they're pulling away from Ray Kingsbury. But the real question is, who's coming out of the next of that group? And it would be AJ Burton leading the way now. Constantini, Nauyux. Dawson, that group back there has settled down a little bit after once they were able to get around Sarah Dove and Vandenbeld. Things got a little more organized.
Well, I think reality hit him in the face and said, look, if we don't knock this off, we're going to give this race away to Kingsbury and Novak. I mean, they've strategized this race out really well, and they've gotten the chance to get out in front. Now these guys have to work together and not allow them to keep pulling away by just a couple tenths and make up that... maybe on pit stops or exit something.
39 laps to go. Kingsbury working on a 22-lap stint, so he is well within a 1-stopper from here. The only question I had was Sarah Dove. All she needs to be able to do is go another 2 laps. I think Sarah can probably safely do that. Sarah working on a 30-lap stint. How many cars on the lead lap, you ask? Well, 16. How many cars on the track? Well, as far as I can tell, 17. The only one out there that's not on the lead lap, James King, who is very slow on track right now. Is he coming out of the pits? James might be calling it a day. He's been slow on the whole back half of the track. Everybody else. Niles.
Ooh, Johan!
Oh.
Vanderbilt spinning down to the inside. He's going to be off the track. No caution. Looks like he just got loose. Let's go look at the replay.
The car, if we can look at it on board when we get a second chance, Andrew Kinsella had a good view of this one. There goes Vanderbilt. Dawson, you're right. He goes off the racing line onto the pavement down there. Let's take one more look at the guy who had the best view. This is Havakech. He's got no room to go up top. He finds room, and there goes Vanderbilt. How about our director, Amjad Yaman, arming that camera? Not only finding the car, putting us in the cockpit, but manning the camera as well. All right, Novak and Kingsbury. That gap, Dawson, now settled down. 2.2 seconds over Ray Kingsbury.
Yeah, and I think Ray was running with King before. So now that King has got off the track, he's lost almost a full second now.
Now everybody is in the window. 35 laps to go. We should be good from here. You cannot afford to pit before the yellow comes out. You've got to run it until it's dry. The last thing you want to have happen is to come in as Vanderbilt makes a stop. He is in his window to come in and then get caught out from a yellow flag. That'll ruin your whole strategy. The only ray of hope, I think, for the rest of the guys is that Novak and Kingsbury have been out there about 8 laps longer. In theory, they'll have to take a little more fuel to get to the end.
Yeah, and now it's a question of, well, how do you play it? Do you try and pit now and use the newer tires longer, or do you wait and... Or I doubt they don't take tires. I don't think that's an option on the board right now, but boy, it's going to play that. It's going to be really interesting.
Well, like you said, if you're going to take tires, there's no reason to wait to the end to do it. You want to get the most out of the rubber, so if you're going to take tires, you don't want to run it too long.
And then the only problem with that is, well, if you say, well, pit now in a couple laps here, well, then you're stuck with if a yellow comes out and you are 1 lap down, then everything is shattered.
But if you do take tires and you happen to get a yellow after that, if you manage to take tires, then all of a sudden, all that gap you lose from taking the tires is made up under yellow, and you've got yourself some fresh rubber underneath you. I don't know.
Oh, boy. I would definitely try something else. I don't think... I think Novak and them, their strategy is pretty set. I think Burton and Bennett, I think them are the next guys, they're pretty set. Kinsella has kind of stuck back. He's right next to Andrew Lack back in 10th and 11th. I think maybe he needs to roll the dice with a Speedy or somebody like that near the back who we know have that.
I'm sorry, this is Kinsella. So we look at that, almost got into Edward Lack as you were talking about him. We ride on board with Lack right now. Here comes Havakech going underneath. Boy, I would sure like to talk to one of the drivers right now. I wish they'd let us do that. It's never good. I just love to see what's in their minds. We'll find out. They'll tell us by their actions. Vanderbilt, go ahead.
Yeah, when you talk to drivers like that talking about during races, I know guys who are just chattery, you know, they love to talk while they're racing, and other guys who need it absolutely quiet. It's really interesting to see, you know, how drivers vary in that stance.
Okay, let's go ahead and run down what's going on right now. We'll set the stage for you as I think the pit window is about to open up for some of the guys up front. Zach Novak and Matt Kingsbury, they're out in front by about 2 seconds. They are dancing. Depends on when you look at them, who's out in front. They've got about 2 seconds on Ray Kingsbury. Now, Ray has slowly fallen back. He's on the same strategy as his brother in Novak. He has slowly fallen back into the clutches of Henry Bennett. Bennett has been the class of the field so far from the guys up front early on. He's your pole sitter. Strategy has caught him out, but he's running right now. Back in 5th, A.J. Burton, Constantini, now Yucks, Espity. Now farther back, like you said, Schwitter, then you get back, this is weird, then you get back to Lack and Kinsella. Dawson, I think he called it. Kinsella seemed to either get caught out on strategy or just has lost pace.
Well, when he took that pit stop, he got cycled back a little bit farther than now Yucks and Espity. I think Kinsella was just stuck in traffic and hasn't really had a chance to run with the quicker guys. I think if you're Kinsella, you almost are waiting for a caution to get this field reset.
He may need to take, like you said, maybe take the
road
less traveled. Oh, okay, so the first one to bite.
And A.J. Burton.
Now, what'll be interesting is let's go ahead and see if these guys take any rubber. 26 laps. They'll just need to put enough fuel in to get them the 26 laps. Let's stay on them. Anybody? Though are they going up? Yeah, I think so. I'll double check. Novak comes in.
Boy, now Henry Bennett is racing out there all by himself. He was running with Burton, but right now running times all by himself. I think he needs to bring it into the pits this time. Otherwise, he's going to lose way too much time.
Yep, Novak goes up on the jacks. Boy, for a splash and go, if the car goes up on the jacks, I'm assuming they're changing tires, and they get them done pretty quick in the Indy car, so maybe you can take them without it costing you anything.
Jan Schwitter bringing it into the pits.
Novak cycles out. Let's go to Henry Bennett in first position. Now, has Bennett pitted? No, he has not. So that's a pass. That's a lap down. These are the two guys that might be racing for the win. They are side by side, but they are a lap apart. You can see coming out, Schwitter comes out, but he is well behind Novak. Novak making the pass. Go ahead.
The only ones to stay out right now, Henry Bennett and Kinsella. Kinsella's 4 seconds back, so I think he's out of this race.
Novak gets his lap back. Henry staying out. Here comes Novak's buddy, Matt Kingsbury. Remember, Kingsbury and Novak 1 lap down, but they are good to go. Henry Bennett. Look at them pull away. Dawson, fresh rubber making the difference for Novak and Kingsbury, maybe?
I think so, and I think once Bennett loses this draft, them guys are going to...
Vanderbilt has spun it and crashed it. Is this current? Not one. It is, I think.
I got Vanderbilt on...
I think this just happened and he spun. Yeah, it just happened and he spun it off the racing line. This was a horrible break for Henry Bennett. He wanted Vanderbilt to keep that car out on the track. Boom. So the fan belt's day is done. Right on board with Johan. Now, even though he was farther back, he still had a chance for a good finish. Hate to see the day go sour so close to the end. So, another one bites the dust. Henry Bennett staying out. But Dawson, he is losing time to Kingsbury and Novak.
I think his mindset right now is he even if he pits now, he's going to cycle behind guys like Nalyuks and Constantini. No, he brings it in this time. I was thinking, well, he must have probably ran out of fuel right about this point. He was probably hoping for a caution there to get it reset.
Yeah, that's why he needed Vanderbilt to bounce that car back up and get a yellow. A yellow would have been just what the doctor ordered. Kinsella now inherits the lead, but he has one stop to make. Let's pick up Novak. Novak and Kingsbury out of corner number 4. What's going on with Bennett?
Just exiting pit road. Oh, there they go.
Kingsbury and Novak say, "See you later, boy, like you're a skater, boy." Bennett gonna cycle into, well, it's gonna get worse. Espity goes by. Now Yes goes by. Ray Kingsbury goes by. AJ Burden, Constantini, Schwitter. I think all those laps on the old rubbers would cost Bennett, but Bennett's sitting there with some new tires right now, but it's only about 5 or 6 laps fresher than the guys that just passed him.
Now, Novak and Kingsbury are not your leaders. Kinsella has still stayed out. Yep. He's right now running right around Edward Lack and Andres Eek. So, depending on how long he can keep it out, he has a shot.
Oh, he gets bumped and he saves it! Maybe now's the time to bring that car into pit lane before that happens.
Oh, my.
Oh, that's as sideways as you can get one of these Dallara DW12s and keep it going in the right direction. Look at the hands, and then he straightens it back out. I got it. Woohoo! We're going to look at that one more time from above. Boink. Nice catch.
Boy.
We are back live. 16 laps to go. It is a 2-man battle right now, as Matt Kingsbury makes the dance pass on Zach Novak. Everybody else hoping for a yellow flag. That could change everything. And that's where Henry Bennett could have the advantage. If the field could get bunched up, he's on the fresher rubber. He's already made his way around Schwitter and Constantini. I'm talking about Henry Bennett now up into 7th. He should be fast. Let's look at a battle for 3rd. This is Osman Espity, George Noyaks. Noyaks goes underneath. Noyaks gets him. We're not going to focus on the leaders right now because they have their dance steps worked out. We'll come in and get them when they get closer to the end. The action back here is for 3rd and back. The blue car, Espity, underneath. AJ Burden in 5th. Going to wait. Back behind them on the top side, it's Ray Kingsbury. Here comes Henry Bennett. Bennett gets another one, and boy, practices a little rhinoplasty in the process as he chops the nose off of Ray Kingsbury.
No, Yuxon is speedy. I think they touched a little bit.
This is intense. And that puts the blue car of Espity off the pace. Bennett gets another one. Now Yak's up in 4th. Watch out for the red car. That's Ray Kingsbury on the top side of Espity. Constantini and Schwitter behind him. Where is the car of Kinsella? My goodness, he is down in 13th position. All by himself, yep.
Yeah.
On the lead lap, 15 cars. That includes Sarah Dove and Fabian Youngblood. 15 cars on the lead lap. 15 cars on the track. Up front, I say ho-hum as there's a pass for the lead. Zach Novak. You know what's interesting? I would like to see how many laps these guys have actually been credited with leading, because the guy who passes on the back straight gets credit for leading the lap. Like right now, Novak did not lead this lap. Novak makes the pass here. He'll lead for half the lap, but the half of the lap he leads won't count in the standings. Here comes Kingsbury. Boys, are you far enough ahead that he can stop this dance? 3.3 seconds is the gap. And Dawson, look who's in third.
Henry Bennett able to drive his way right back up. Well done. I thought he was going to be kind of like Kinsella and get shuffled behind these guys. So he's worked well done to get back up into the podium spot.
Well, he was behind him, but he had the fresh rubber and then he had the speed to get through him. Now the question is, can he get to the guys in front? 3.2 seconds to get up to, well, right now it's Novak. That'll change soon. AJ Burden in fourth. Austin Esmeti, he's come back after he had that little mishap where he fell back. Now Yucks, Kingsbury, Constantini. Also in this mix, Jan Schwitter. So third through ninth, still up for grabs. We'll do our very best when we get to the end. We'll cover the battle, the race for the lead, then we'll jump back and see who wins the final podium spot. Matt Kingsbury makes the pass right now. We don't need to look at that, but let's see where we are. This is where the action is.
Boy, Bennett, you can tell he's been leading this group now for a couple laps. You can tell that his car, the fresher tires are really helping him right now.
Bennett ahead of Esmeti, Burden in the red and black car. Uh-oh.
We have a caution.
Kinsella has a mistake. He banks it once, he banks it twice, he barrel rolls it down the main straight. Look at this one. Bang! Then the car was going off to the infield. Bang! Comes back out there, and that brings out the yellow. Let's take a look at this from Little Bird, Sarah Dove. It happened so far in front. Talk about a closing rate. Where are you going to go, Sarah? Where are you going to go? I'm going to go here.
Whoa.
Well, Henry Bennett was thinking about rivers in China, ribbons around old oak trees, and cowardice. He got it. The yellow is out. And now we are going to have a sprint to the checkers.
Do you pit?
I pit if I'm at the back. Young Bluth and Dove can pit. The guys up front cannot. And now the question becomes, how much better are tires that are only 13 laps of racing compared to tires that are 19 laps of racing? That's what Henry Bennett has, 6-lap fresher tires.
Ooh, baking. Richard Tam going to be the first one into the pit road. Andres Eek, Edward Lack, and Sarah Dove.
This is good. I think these guys at the back, there's positions to be made up. This will be interesting. Tam, we'll see how these guys fare. They'll come out in 10th position. You got to figure fresh tires. If you're a driver, if you're Jan Schwitter right now, you got to think, my gosh, I'm a sitting duck in 9th with old tires and a bunch of guys behind me with fresh rubber. 5 laps to go. What are we going to have here? Maybe 2 laps of racing? Maybe 3? Zach Novak out in front. Well, now the dancing is going to stop. And once a nice little waltz is going to turn into more of a mosh pit.
And I think now the restraints are off. You're going to see how close you can get to guys. It's going to, oh boy, this is, Bennett especially, I think with them fresher tires, he's going to be pushing the issue.
Yeah. The good news for Bennett is there's a good news for Novak is there's a real good chance of a yellow flag coming out as we have 4 cars in the back. Eek, Tam, Lack, Dove, and Youngblood all are going to be faster than the guys in front of them. That's a recipe for some type of contact. Not that Novak would want such a thing to happen, but maybe another good thing for Novak is he's got Matt Kingsbury as a little bit of a cushion between him and Bennett.
Does Kingsbury even play cushion for him?
Well, maybe they can be too wide and make Bennett find a way around making it 3 wide. The lights are off the pace car. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the debut race of the Absolute Beginner Indy League. Season 1, Race 1 here on the Global Sim Racing channel from Michigan International Raceway. When they come around, there'll be 3 laps of racing between them and the inaugural checkered flag for this series. Zach Novak is out in front. He is fast, but his tires are 8 laps older than Henry Bennett. Bennett has proven himself to be the fastest of all the drivers since the last pit stop. Don't forget about Matt Kingsbury. He races in second. Osman SP has been fast. AJ Burden has been fast. Then we get back to the guys with the fresh rubber. Andres Eek, Richard Tam, Edward Lack, Sarah Dove. How far can they go? We'll find out. There'll be 6 miles of racing. The pace car pulls in. The power is turned over to Zach Novak. He's on the gas. The car gets a little bit of squirrely coming out of there. Kingsbury right on his tail. Kingsbury looks to the inside. He's going to make the pass going out of 2. Henry Bennett falls about 8 car lengths back. Here comes Novak. He's going to make the pass on the back straight. He gets it back. There is George Nalyuk is off track. He crashes the car on the inside. I don't think we're going to get a yellow. We stay green. Out of 4.
Ooh.
Zach Novak is going to be first to the start-finish line. Now we're on the back straight as I'm live now after I saw that incident. Henry Bennett making the move on the top side. He challenges for the lead. He gets Novak. The blue car underneath Osman Espati. He has to check up. He falls back into the clutches of AJ Burden. Down low. Making a run in the blue car is Kingsbury. White flag is out. Trying to run away with us. We have a big enough lead as Henry Bennett. He's out of 2. Novak chasing. Is he too far back? He might be. Here comes a run from Espati. There is a crash behind, but we will stay green. The blue car of Espati gets underneath Novak. Espati with a run through 3. Coming out of 4. I don't think there's going to be enough time to get there. They come to the finish line. Henry Bennett wins the inaugural race in the Absolute Beginners IndyCar League. Second place goes to Osman Espati. Zach Novak has to settle for 3rd. AJ Burden, Matt Kingsbury, 4th and 5th.
Oh.
Then there was a big crash. We're going to get a replay of Nalyuk's crash. And then they got together on the back straight. Maybe we can find this on the last lap. Lack, Schwitter, and Kingsbury. Here we're going to look at Nalyuk's here first. You can see him get loose, and now he spins off, and luckily this does not bring out the yellow because he goes off the racing line. I could probably just stay on this one if we want to go, maybe just go to Ray Kingsbury right now. It won't be much longer. It might be this lap or one more round. Either way, it'll be fun to watch. There's a crash between Kingsbury. I think Constantini is involved in it. Twitter is involved. There they are. It's going to be coming up here. This is on the last lap. If we're there, they go 3 wide. Oh, we got to go one more lap from here. Well, since this is the inaugural race, let's stay here. We'll look at this action. Now they come around for the white flag lap. Look at the fighting going on here. Now on the backstretch of the final lap, this is where the 3 cars get together. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, boom, bang, up on your wheels. And they all keep going the right direction. How about that? All right, the racing is over here at Michigan, but our broadcast is far from done. We're going to take a short break here on the Global Sim Racing channel. We'll be back in a second to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the inaugural race, Season 1, Round 1 of the Absolute Beginners Indy League here from Michigan International Speedway. Let's run down the finishing order of the race that just concluded. He sat on the pole. He led for a lot early. He fell back. Things were not looking good for him. A late race caution bunched up the field. He had fresher rubber, and he got to the lead, and he brought it home. We're talking about Henry Bennett. Ospen Espety, a great second-place finish from him. Zach Novak, he slept early, got to the lead. The strategy was playing out perfect. Ill-timed yellow forced him to race on old rubber. The best he could do was third. A.J. Burden, Matt Kingsbury also had a chance for the win until that late yellow. He has to settle for fifth. Andres Eek in sixth. Seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th go to Michelle Castantini, Jan Schwitter, Richard Tam, and Fabian Youngbruth. Dawson?
Sarah Dove, Edward Lack, and Ray Kingsbury are going to be your final 3 cars on the lead lap. They will take 11th, 12th, and 13th, respectively. George Nauyuks got into a crash there at the end, but he had a great run all day. Just a sad ending for him. He'll finish 14th. Andrew Kinsella, well, he was up in front for most of the race, but unfortunate ending gave a little extra drama to the end of our race. He's going to finish 15th. Johan Vandenbelt, 16th. James King, 17th. Niall McBride, 18th. Christian Steele, 19th. And Sam Winton to round out the top 20.
Thank God for a no fast repairs race as the fickle finger of attrition pointed its bony finger at all these drivers. Timo Toika in 21st position, 87 laps down. Stefan Larkamp, Miguel Rugenbrink, Ollie Cueca, Michelle Hoflandason, Christian Kabanka, Brian, it's not easy being Greenlee, Eric Mickey, Cameron Barry, Ralph Eust, Thomas Kick, and Isaiah Dupree round out your 31 car field. All right, we have lots of people to talk about. Dawson, I'm going to let you talk to our winner. Let's go ahead and talk to Henry Bennett. If we can bring Henry in here.
There he is. All right, Henry. Well, you were able to bring it into victory lane. How are you feeling, sir?
I'm ecstatic. It's one of my first oval wins for quite some time. So, and there were a lot of good oval drivers in the race. So, yeah, I'm very pleased with this one.
So do you consider yourself more of a road racer or an oval racer? I'm assuming you're from the UK, so you're probably more about the road.
Oh yeah, 100% road. Yeah, and like I say, in this race, there's a lot of good competition. Zach, Austin, Andrew, they're all contenders, and yeah, it feels really good to beat them.
Yeah, Novak, he was a pro driver. I believe we had his iRating of 69.95 on the oval side. Pretty good competition here, but you were able to just make it happen. You had the right strategy. Ultimately, in the end, we thought that you were going to get cycled out. Staying out. You were losing time to the leaders. I was afraid that you were going to get shuffled behind the guy, the No Yuck, and all them guys. I was afraid you were going to get shuffled behind them, but you were able to race with them, and because of your fresh tires, you were able to get to the front of them, and then that timely caution, you were able to make it all happen. Were you thinking that fresh tire near the end, were you thinking that was going to be the winning factor, or were you just trying to keep your times in front of guys?
I mean, I think that late pit stop was a mistake. I should have pitted earlier. But the fresh tyres definitely helped. But when I came out of the pits, I think I was back in 10th place. And yeah, I didn't think I had much chance of win at that stage. But I managed to fight my way back through the field and then got lucky with that yellow. Because at that point, Zach and Matt were over 3 seconds ahead of us. And with 5 laps left to go, there was no chance of catching them. So I pretty much settled for 3rd place at that point.
All right, one last quick thing here. I'm really curious, this being an open setup, relatively new league, you have this Indy car, this DW12 here on iRacing, plenty of settings. How often are you sitting there messing with the weight jackers and all of the tools that you have in that Indy car? Are you switching them a lot, or are you normally just changing the way you drive?
All the time, or both, really. As the fuel burns down and the tires wear out, I'm playing with the weight jacket. I had to go minus weight jacket quite a lot because the car got quite loose towards the end of the stints. And for the final stint, I actually took wing off because it was a shorter stint. I had less weight in the car and fresher tires, so that may have helped me as well at the end there.
All right, well, congratulations. Anybody you want to thank? You can take your time now.
I'd like to thank my teammate, Timo Ronku, who couldn't race today, unfortunately. He was supposed to race, but he made the paint for my car, which I think looks really good. And the rest of my teammates at Powerslide and Absolute Zero for all their work with the setups over the years.
All right, that is Henry Bennett. He was your winner today. We will see you in 2 weeks at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. But now, this time, who have you caught up with, Bill?
I'm going to talk to the guy that almost won the race, and that is going to be Zach Novak. Zach, we followed your strategy. I loved it. Late yellow cost you the win, I think.
Yeah, that late yellow really screwed us, I guess. We obviously had like 3 seconds on the field. Me and Matt were working the strategy perfectly. And I don't know, that late caution just wasn't really in our favor, I guess. So
early on, you just wanted to sit back out of the mess. It looked like you were trying to find open track to just find where you could put in some miles without being in jeopardy.
Yeah, I'm fairly new to the IndyCar. I haven't really raced it much, but Ray and Matt both wanted me to come race with them, so I said why not. I had a lot of fun today, and I just wanted to sit in the back and just make sure I didn't wreck anybody or wreck myself. And, once I got used to it, I started working my way through the field. Then Ray and Matt called a great strategy, and we almost won the thing.
What do you usually race?
Normally, stock cars, the truck, Xfinity car, Cup car.
Is that where that I rating comes from? The 69.95. That's from racing the big cars.
Yeah, most of it. I really like racing the fixed series there, and of course the NASCAR Peak Anti-Free series and NASCAR racing open and fixed, and anything that involves stock cars is something I like. So
okay, well, what's going to happen when you have to go to the tracks where you turn right? Are we going to see a different Zach Novak?
Probably. I've done a few IndyCar road races here and there, but I'm definitely nothing special. I'll definitely have to put in some practice to be competitive of any sorts. But I'm sure I'll have as much fun as I did today in those races. So.
Well, you put on a good show today. It was fun to watch you dance with Matt Kingsbury as well. Good luck to you the rest of the way.
It's fun.
All right. Zach Novak, our third place finisher today. Dawson, who you want to talk to?
I'm going to catch up with Austin Espedy. Austin, you were able to finish second there in a crazy finish. How did that all round out for you?
Well, that late caution definitely had a lot to do with it. I was just trying to contend and take a third place, but the caution came out, and I knew Henry's clean, and if I could work with Henry to get by Matt and Zach, then I knew I'd have a shot, but didn't get it on. But the second place, I just timed the pass right going into 3 and hoping it would stick and I wouldn't push up. And luckily, Zach lifted out a little bit, and I was able just to pin it to the apron for the final lap and bring it home second.
Yeah, that we saw that arrow push all day. A lot of cars becoming victims to it. I was dealing with that. Was that really a big deal today? I'm assuming it was for you, but you were able to make it work there near the end. That arrow push, how big of a factor was that?
It was okay. It was manageable. The high line was definitely the preferred line in 1 and 2, so it was basically you couldn't mess up or you'd hit the wall. 3 and 4, you had a lot more options to run, but it was still enough to kind of pin someone back a little bit. But I think I had enough downforce in the car to make it work. I really needed a lot of long runs because my car was a lot better in the long runs than most. But I'm still happy with the second place today.
So going into that final restart, what was your mindset? Was it, hey, let's just make sure we get a top 5, or was it you were going straight for the front?
Honestly, I was going for the win. I knew I had the car to do it. So, I mean, I would have taken anything within the top 5. But once I looked back after I think it was the first start and saw we had a 9/10 of a gap, and that's enough to break the draft. So after that point, it was just game on, try to get to the front and take the win.
Well, in 2 weeks from now, we're going to hop the border and go north up to Circuit de Gilles, Villeneuve. How do you feel about turning right and left?
Oh, it's really good. This is my preferred series. I run an official, so both oval and road I'm good at. So I'll be up towards the front. You'll see Henry, and there'll be a couple new faces coming in that will be up at front. But I'm looking confident for Montreal.
All right. Well, congratulations on the podium finish, second today, Austin Espedy.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, next we're going to talk to a driver that came home in 5th position, Matt Kingsbury. Matt, I don't know if you can sing, but when it comes to dancing, Bruno Mars has nothing on you. That ballet you were putting on with Novak was pretty to watch.
Yeah, it's something I picked up, as Liam would know, and Live for Speed. We used to do that a lot, and I know it works here in these cars, so it's something that I used to do when I ran these things. I haven't ran these cars in a while, so it's a little rough at first, but we got it working pretty good.
Assuming that late yellow didn't come, did you have a plan to get to Novak? Where did you think, where do I want to be on that last lap? Leading the back straight? Behind on the back straight?
It didn't really matter. We were just going to finish 1-2 since we're running as a team. Yeah, if whoever was really out front would have been the one to win, probably.
What's your forte, ovals or roads?
Mostly an oval guy, but I'm fairly decent at the road courses.
All right, well, we look forward to you the rest of the way. Good start, 5th place. Starting off good for yourself and for your team. And that was our 5th place finisher, Matt Kingsbury. One last interview we'll talk to, because she's always fun to talk to, Let's go ahead and bring Sarah Dove in here real quick. Sarah, you were running up front for a while.
A lot. About.
You were on older tires, and the hounds were chasing you. They were gobbling you up, and you good job of keeping the car straight until.
I'm surprised I didn't have a heart attack.
How much oval experience do you have?
Outside street stock, I've done about 5 oval races in this car, so not the most experience.
Concentration level different than on a road course? Are you able to relax a little bit more? How's it feel?
It's for me, not really, because it's kind of, the laps are all so short and it's constant. If there's a car behind you, then you're constantly thinking about, are they going to overtake? Am I going to have to defend and all that stuff? But like on road courses, you don't really need to worry about it until there's a corner or a long straight. So
the guys who know what they're doing, they always play around with the tools and everything. I start to do that when I'm in one of these cars. That's things are going to go south for me real quick if I start adjusting things while I'm racing. Are you able to do that yet?
I tried. I thought it was kind of successful, but not the best thing that I'm best at.
Yeah, I can certainly relate. Well, how about 11th place? Nice job for your initial race. Last question. This is going to be tough. This is like Scarlett O'Hara when she had to choose between Rhett Butler and Ashley Wilkes. This series conflicts with the MWT. One of these times you're going to have to decide which one you're going to race. Who do you love, Sarah?
That's it?
Yeah, I think there's a few. You know what? I don't want to put you on the spot. No, I think there's a few.
I'm sure it was alternating. I don't know.
I've looked at the GSRC schedule and I know that I have to do one of them. So let me tell you, you decide later. But right now, it was great to have you watch. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, Sarah Dove. I broke the bad news to her there, boys. I think she didn't realize that. She was going to have to make a Sophie's Choice decision there. All right, somebody take her out of the interview booth. I have no idea how to do this. We're going to wrap up right now. Wow, what a great debut. I hope you had a good time watching it. Dawson and I had a good time calling it. Let's go ahead and give thanks to the people that made it possible. And, of course, that starts with the Absolute Beginner League. They organized the Indy Series, and they contract with GSRC to broadcast. Boy, we are glad not only to do this series, but also do Formula Eagle as well in the Skippies. And, hey, that's going to come around tomorrow, so don't want to miss that one. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on our broadcast. What about the original music? If you hear it, you know you're watching GSRC, and that is thanks to Casey Lalonde and Eric Ekholm. See the screen for how to contact each of them. And now if Dawson is paying attention, he knows that he has some stuff to read.
Oh yeah, I'm here. In 2 weeks, we will return. Same series, same place. Join us 17th of February for the Grand Prix du Canada at Circuit Gilles of Villeneuve. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. Sliding across your screen now are some of the upcoming broadcasts, so check out those and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including the complete list of future broadcasts, you can find it at www.globalsimracingchannel.com. We are also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at /GlobalSimRacingChannel.
Finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, never say die, Dawson Brock, our director Amjad Yaman, and our camera artist Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. And to Ferdinand Magellan, Joseph and Jacques Montgolfier, Sir Edmund Hillary, and Medina Mendes, thanks for the memories. With that said, we're off to have fun, storm the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.